Right,
So
let me continue before you destroy me too much. So, for those who've been hiding in a bunker for completely understandable reasons, with love, Meghan sees the Duchess cooking, flower arranging, candle making, jarring preserves, scenting towels with lavender, making harvest baskets, blowing balloon arches, arranging fruit into rainbows, sprinkling dried edible flowers on literally everything. Creating moments is her jam, though jam, which usually contains equal parts sugar and fruit, it is very much not her jam because she feels the traditional recipe ratio detracts from the fruit. So actually, she's all about slightly less sweet preserves. After watching it, you will find you will end up like myself right now with a lot of useless information going round in circles in your head that will need to be removed slowly by applying the same care that Morgan shows when designing a crudite plate, which incidentally...
we could have a parfait party tonight.
What about my bacon brings all the boys to the yard, babes?
Well, that comes from the term. It's the Khalees song, "My milkshake brings all the boys to the yard," and she thinks she's obviously being very clever with a play on that.
Now we're talking turkey.
That will be getting clipped and turned into a meme. If it isn't already, it will by the end of today. In a really derogatory meme.
Ziggy's at the babysitter right now, and Paula M. People asking about Paula M. She confirmed that she was coming, and she is welcome to drop in if she's out there. She knows the start time, so hopefully she will drop in soon. All right, let me keep going with this one. So,
can you ask? I want to ask the chat actually. Has any of you watched it today? Put one in the chat if you have, and two if you rather stick pins in your eyes.
Laura, Jen is glowing after the 2-hour back massage and feeding of grapes I've given her to sit her down. And before we sat down, we went and had a couples massage at the Thai. She's literally had 3 hours of back rubs today, Laura.
Honestly, Shaun exaggerates everything. Your dad says that all the time.
I've got the receipts for the Thai, Dan. Don't.
Yeah, we went for the massage for an hour. We come back. We watched Meghan. You gave a bit of a shoulder rub for 15 minutes. You kept shoving grapes in the side of my mouth. I was like, "Can you stop doing that?" Like every time I look around, there's a grape here, like firing into my face.
I sat there like Cleopatra, getting fed grapes by her servant. And I didn't even get the trajectory of the grape right. Sorry. I'll put the grapes in more delicately from now on, Jen.
Please.
Laura May, did I wash the grapes? I certainly did. But Jen said they're organic. They don't need washing.
I never wash any of my fruit. I'm really disgusting. I'm down to earth. I buy fruit even from supermarkets. And I don't wash it. It's disgusting.
GC would rather stick things in his eyes than watch the With Love. And Jenny, I feel like I want to watch this car crash show out of morbid curiosity.
Yeah. And honestly, 2 episodes in, I feel like I've got this really unhealthy but yet healthy habit of finishing a project that I started. Like I can't read half a book and then put it down and never read it again, apart from if it's absolutely terrible. So, and I mean the show is absolutely terrible, but I feel like I've got this like untold loyalty towards it and I have to finish it. I have to see this through. It's like any other project I put my mind to. Meghan Markle's show, I've got to do it.
All right, so Meghan makes every single day for her husband and kids. And do you remember at the beginning, Jen, when she said she just thinks all day long about the comfort of her guests and how she can excel in that area?
I wish I had all day long to think about the comfort of my guests who visit my home. Like, it's outrageous. The guests that come here, I'm quite polite. I'll put clean towels on the bed, and I'll make sure there's loo roll in the bathroom. Job done. Shower towel, loo roll. I do not go as far as to put fresh flowers, little bags of popcorn and pretzels and what was it? Bath salts in a homemade jar with lavender bags. And yeah, I feel like it makes I've got to step it up now.
Got a message from Paula M. She is inbound, so she should be arriving any moment. And this show, we hope, is going to go to about 5 p.m. So she's got 45 minutes. All right, so I'll continue with the review.
Go on.
So every single day is for her husband and kids. And that's why they all love vegetables so much. We don't all have a garden like this, she acknowledges, as she goes about the sun-washed, enormous estate with her trug, picking lemons always with the leaves on. I fully recognize that. I didn't grow up with a garden like this. But go to a farmer's market and you can find something. We all saw Meghan show Oprah her chicken coop. Her lifestyle brand was until very recently called American Riviera Orchard, which was supposed to give off an Alice Waters idyll filmed by Nancy Meyers vibe, but sounded more like the sister takeaway to Chicken Cottage. Anyway, she's now renamed it As Ever. But whatever would be more on point, because what with love Meghan vibrates with most is a vacuous, overstyled joylessness. Harry is mostly referred to as my husband. He features briefly at the end of the final ep. So, guys, put a 1 in the chat if when we've finished, you want us to come back and do a review of the final episodes. Put a 2 if you'd rather we bog off. So,
I'm reading now on Tatler magazine about Meghan Markle unveils her first as ever products. I'm going to have to ask Paula, because Paula's really educated on this sort of nonsense. How many websites has this woman had and crashed? Like, it's like she tries to launch something and it never quite gets there. It never lands. She can't see things through. And that I find a really toxic, irritating trait in people I meet. People who say they're going to do stuff and then don't. I hate that. It gets my OCD and my blood boiling.
But Jen, she's already rebutted that criticism in the early, whereby she said she was working hard on the TV series Suits, which gets emphasized overly. While she was doing that, she also started the TIG. Remember that bit? The guy points out how hardworking she must have been to start the TIG while doing Suits. Hello, Paula M. How are you? Thanks for joining us.
I'm here. Hello, guys. How are you?
We're good. You.
Love the background.
Are you? What are you doing? Are you talking about that disaster?
Oh my! I had to bribe Jen to watch it, Paula.
It was terrifying.
Oh my God! No, I mean I had to watch it because I'm actually finishing a video that I'm going to post, because it is brutal to watch. You know, like, even if you take Meghan out of the equation, okay, forget that she's Meghan, right? And you just try to watch that show, you will wonder, what the hell are you watching? You know that I was talking to Dina, and then she's like, her daughter said, oh, it's not that bad. You know, if you think about it, if you don't know who she is or the background or how she got there or what's really going on, because to me, that was a clapback that she did. You know how she used the Spotify to clap back at the word diva, the word bitch, because that's what she heard all the time, and all kinds of things, right? So this is a clapback because during the entire shows or whatever, I don't even know what to call it. It's everybody's telling her how perfect she is. It's you're perfect. You're perfect, Meghan. And there's a special clip that I'm actually using in there because she's talking about this lemon cake that looks really dry. It looks horribly dry, that lemon cake. You know, you can see when a cake is moist. It's horrible. And Daniel Martin, her hairstylist, he walks in there thinking that there's going to be a chef cooking. So he looks pretty confused that he's going to end up cooking himself. And it's like you can see the guy's like, where is the chef? Where is the chef? And then he cuts his finger, and then like everybody's perfect. But when she finally does the lemon cake, which we know she didn't, he says, oh, it's something beautiful about seeing this cake that's bland and that's outside, but when you cut it in, it's so beautiful in the inside. And then of course they go into because then they don't know what they're talking. That's her way of saying people see me and they don't know what's exterior, but I'm beautiful inside. That is pure exercise and absolute narcissism. It is just horrible. I mean, and then keep in mind, beautiful people, that this woman makes the point that hairstylist is her best mate from before, during her time in prison in the castle, and after. Yet she learns in the show that he's left-handed.
I know. I found that quite. He was like, "I'm a lefty," and how did she not ever notice? I thought it would be something you would notice with your best friend.
I mean, how self-involved is this woman? This is the whole thing I'm talking about. And and now, of course, that she came out and gave an interview. Like, she's clapping back. She's saying that her show is failing because anybody who criticizes that show is sexist, misogynistic, and they don't appreciate her brand of feminism. In fact, I was like, I have the article, but in the article she's talking about how she's paranoid and she doesn't trust anybody, not even her Netflix handlers, and that she doesn't want to admit. She thinks that she's absolutely paranoid because she's saying that we don't get that, we don't get her. And whoever criticizes her is because we just don't understand. This is the very same woman who has based her entire life going before the United Nations and everywhere she goes that when she was 11 years old, I changed a multi-million-dollar campaign because a boy in fourth grade said to me, women belong in the kitchen. And no, we don't. We don't belong in the kitchen. I mean, I'm just watching this, and I'm looking at this woman and the way they're trying to gaslight people, because I remember you guys were in the UK and people kept saying, especially the mainstream media, they sold this woman as a self-made multimillionaire, savvy businesswoman who was a humanitarian. That was the main sell that they gave. She went before the United Nations that it was her quest to become a politician, to enroll herself in projects. And then she goes and says and that she wants to pass that heritage to Lily, to be in the kitchen. That's proactive feminism. Am I in bizarre world here? Am I the only crazy one? I thought I was going crazy.
No, she's tried to grip onto someone to blame for her failure. And it's as point as that. And if she can't turn around and say the God's honest truth of people just don't like me because I am so self-indulgent, she has to go, no, they don't like me because I'm a woman. They don't like me because I have a gay best friend who I didn't even know was left-handed. It's all these things. She wants a reason to justify people disliking her and not being a fan of hers.
I know, but and you know what? This is really funny because this is radar online. I mean, guys, and then she, when she says that her name is Sussex because that is the thing with my kids. It means so much to me. No. there's a decree that says that all members of the royal family who do not have a title or do not wish to have a title, their last name says Mountbatten Windsor. Okay, this is because, you know, Prince Philip was very upset that his kids did not have his last name and that he had lost everything. So they agreed to that, any non-title royal grandchild or child of the queen would be will have Mountbatten Windsor. And this is why with that fake whatchamacallit birth certificate that TMZ put out, it says Lilibet Diana Mountbatten Windsor. That's on that fake thing. And they put it out. Archie was Archie Mountbatten Windsor because she didn't want any titles for them. So because she didn't want any titles for them, and that's the birth certificate that they put out, Mountbatten Windsor. So, I mean, I think that she knows that when William ascends the throne, those things are gone. So this is her way of manipulating by saying, no, it's my last name. And, you know, it's our kids because it's like, I represented, and you know, it's a family unit, it's our identity.
Right.
You know,
So
at some point, I really wanted to reach into the TV and just slap the crap out of her. I'm not going to lie.
I have this show on the channel, Paula.
We've got 1,000 people watching live, folks. Please subscribe to Paula M's channel on YouTube. I've put the link in the live chat. I put the link on the screen. If you're watching on the replay, the link is also in the description box. For Jen and I, so far,
I just want to apologize for the mess because it's the time change. You guys have time change again?
Yeah.
We go back, and then
I have to remind Dina because I'm just going to remind Dina about too, because you know she's trying to come on, and I don't. Did you send her the link by email or by WhatsApp?
Yeah. All you guys got it by email.
Send it to her by WhatsApp. I don't think she checks her emails for that.
Okay, I will send Jen her WhatsApp.
Gets me.
I don't know how to send it from the email to WhatsApp. You know that, guys, that I'm technologically challenged. You know.
Yeah, I'm the opposite. I can't barely even see my phone.
And you know, the thing is, like, I'm not even from Sussex, and I'm like, oh my God. I mean, okay. Meghan Markle gets her Netflix ranking, and it's behind sitcoms and the WWE as she receives horrific 11% Rotten Tomatoes score and is panned by Hollywood Bible Variety. I mean, have you read the Variety thing? Oh my God.
I'm struggling to find one positive review online, even a paid review. There's nothing available online. So it is canned that fast. But as I said to Shaun earlier and everyone watching, why does she care? She's already paid.
But she hasn't. But you see, that's what the thing is, though, that she really hasn't. People think that they got the 100 millions. Netflix has now gone on the record on that Variety article that they posted that they didn't get that 100 million. And this was Meghan Markle's last chance. And I saw the Sun. Kinsey Schofield was there, right? And then there's this Sugar, because not Kinsey Schofield, not the Sugar, but there's this Sugar. They're sitting and they're talking about it, and then she goes. Kinsey Schofield said something like, "Well, you know, there's the war in Ukraine. There's this, there's that. Maybe she could have postponed the show out of sensitivity because she's portraying herself as a sensible woman." And then this Sugar said, "Well, why should they?" And I mean, they're still featuring and dropping new shows all the time, which is true. And that was my point back then when she postponed it. We know that she postponed it, and this is even more appalling, that she was using the LA fires when she was branded a disaster tourist by Justine Bateman, you know, and she used it as an excuse because she knew that they had to edit the hell out of that show. The show was supposed to have aired last year in August. This is why she flew Jake Rosenberg, her former lover, last year to California to get her pictures. This is what these pictures that you guys are seeing are from last year. She flew, I did a video about it. She flew him in May to get pictures of her around that and all kinds of stuff. So the pictures that you see, the footage is from May last year. So these are the ones that are put out there. because this was supposed to have dropped in August, and then you have Polo to build the momentum, but because she couldn't secure the trademark American Riviera Orchard, and they filmed around it, they had to edit the hell out of it because she kept talking about American Riviera Orchard, so they had to clip a lot of it. And then they kept postponing it, and then she did the Ask Ever thing. And then, she and I said in a video that the trademark, the United States Patent Trademark Office had given her until February to give a final answer about the trademark of American Riviera Orchard, and they said no. And then the LA fires happened, and this was a godsend for this ghoulish woman, and it's but for her to use that as an excuse, that's very, very terrible. It's horrible. And then, so my point was back then, why is she doing it out of respect? They're dropping Netflix things. So, and I was saying to Kinsey, I wish I would have clapped back to that woman and said, well, then why did she postpone it to begin with for a month and a half? Because she was still waiting for the Ask Ever. The Ask Ever thing, it's still pending. I can show it to you. I can share it. And I don't know if you know that you can share if I share something, Shaun. Here,
Yeah.
I'll share your screen.
Send it to Shaun.
Here. There is I'm sharing something here, Shaun, and you can share it. I have this is the Ask Ever thing. It's still under examination. And she's changed lawyers, because you can read everything here, right? You can hear the prosecution story. She changed lawyers on February 17th. Because she fired her lawyer because, he was incompetent, but it's still pending. It's under examination. And she has at least three claims for that, because you have Ask Ever Photography, you have which a registered trademark, and you have Ask Ever, the Chinese company, which a giant, and then you have that logo with Spain.
So one of the news stories prior to this coming out was that the couple's $100 million deal could be in jeopardy if the two can't find a way to relate to viewers on a more honest level.
I don't understand this, Shaun. And somebody, please, somebody tell me. Do you know how many lies this woman said in there? Like, this was, to me, and I've said this on, a PR exercise to try to rehabilitate the image of Rachel Meghan Markle. And yes, that is her last name, Rachel Meghan Markle. She's not, if she calls herself something, is Mountbatten Windsor. She can call herself that, because that is the last name that is to them. But this woman, and the way, oh my goodness, and the way, I'm gonna share this with you, because now she's claiming there's a witch hunt. This article,
of course,
are you showing it? Meghan Markle. And then they're going like, exclusive, accused of going from diva duchess to paranoid prima donna as she launches witch hunt for whoever set her up to fail, even though they don't exist. No, Meghan, you failed because you suck. And this is basically what they say here. They say that a paranoid Meghan Markle is desperately trying to blame a crazy conspiracy theory for all of her recent personal. That's, nobody has picked on that. Personal. I can understand her having professional setbacks, but why personal? You know what I mean? If she has a supporting husband. And the Duchess of Sussex seems to be falling to the pressures of launching a new business, new Netflix program, and new lifestyle. But this is the really interesting part here, because the show is bashed by critics, but then it goes here that an insider, this is really funny. Everyone seems against her right now, and she's paranoid there's a concerted effort to make her to make sure she flops. She doesn't trust anyone these days, even her handlers at Netflix, because there have been bust-ups at Netflix. However, other sources told Reader Online, the truth is much simpler. There's no one setting her up, Meghan Markle. Your content is just crap. She's just trying to deflect blame for putting out a poor product.
100%.